After the unexpected loss of his daughter, local author Ros Hill put together something surprising, a YA adventure story about a flawed superhero who must earn his powers through struggle, grief, and human connection. Ros joins us now to talk more about his new book. Ros, good morning.
Hi, well, thank you for having me.
Tell us about the inspiration for your book called Sketch.
The inspiration, I had no idea where it was coming from, but I read the book Station 11. And
I've read that book as well.
Okay, so then we're on the same page. It was page 82, and I came across the words sketchbook and comic book. And instantly I had this idea. How it came about, I'm not sure, but it was a little boy in his room drawing at his drawing table, and it's nighttime, and he's kind of sleepy. And he draws a superhero. And he yawns, and he goes to bed. So then I saw it as a film. And we've got the boy sleeping, we pan over to the window in his room, and there's fireworks going off. It's the 4th of July. And we continue down to the superhero, and a firework goes off, and there's a boom. And the superhero lifts his head up.
Oh.
And he puts his hands on the paper and says, "Someone's bombing my city. Someone is bombing my city." And he presses himself up further, steps off the drawing table into the boy's room, and throws his cape back and says, "I must save the world." And off he goes, clueless, with no idea that he has no superpowers. Oh. And he ends up in jail that night.
Oh, okay.
So that was the nugget, the seed that started everything that became much grander than that.
Well, and my understanding is you wrote this on your notes app, 87,000 words.
Including periods and commas and spaces. That's very true.
I'm impressed. How'd you begin writing this story, and can you shed some light on why it has such a personal meaning to you?
Sure. You know, there's really 3 times that I started writing the story. The first time I took out my laptop, but my touchpad wasn't working very well. It was real janky and just wasn't responding. And so I got onto my phone, got into the Notes app, and started writing 3 chapters. And everything was great. And then there's a retirement community in San Marcos, and I'm a personal trainer, and I was instructing a water aerobics class. And when I did a movement, my hand went by my leg, and my phone flipped off, and I saw it in slow motion, and I went, "No, sketch!"
Oh, no.
And into the water it went. I've hit the deck, I lunged in there, and I got it. And guess who forgot to back up his story onto the iCloud?
So 3 chapters gone.
3 chapters gone. I ran down to the iPhone store, got a new iPhone, and started writing again. So a few months later, I've got 5 chapters going into it. And then this is when tragedy hit. And I learned that my daughter Brookney had died. It was an untimely, unexpected death. And it was complications due to epilepsy. And there went creativity. There went sketch. There went any desire to write. It was strictly Brookney. It was strictly grieving. It was depression. It was sadness. And so for several months, sketch was the last thing on my mind. But one day I began to think about, I remember when I used to read chapters to Brookney, and she loved hearing about the story. And then I thought, what if I started to write to Brookney? So I took up my phone again, I'm back into my Notes app, and I started writing her a daily diary just about life, what I was going through or what we had shared in common, our memories. And then before I knew it, I was thinking, sketch. Could I actually write sketch with Brookney gone? And there was a tragic moment within the story, and it was like I had gone through tragedy. I felt like she was here. It was very spiritual, very real. And she was like, "Write, Dad. Write the story."
So you wrote.
So I wrote the story. And I don't think I would have finished it without her. And so she was by my side all the way to the end. So.
And talk to me about how Brookney's influence has something to do with your superhero needing to use grief, needing to use sadness, needing to use human connection in order to gain his powers.
Yeah, Brookney just knowing the strength that she had when she was around was very impactful in writing about Sketch. Her understanding and compassion to the human community was very impactful. And Sketch, if you read Sketch, he kind of has those attributes about her. So there's a lot of Brookney in Sketch as far as his compassion towards understanding difficult dilemmas.
And what would you say makes this superhero story different than others that people will read?
Well, you know, what makes it different, the main thing, is that it's about a superhero being created from the imagination. And that happens through a magical link. It's actually ancient Egyptian magical link. You can buy it online at Walmart. And so this magical link, when it's linked with someone who has good intent, is a very good artist, and has something called imaginative energy, the second you're done drawing that superhero, they come to life. And so that's what makes this different than others. And so that's kind of the premise of the book. But within that, there's creativity, there's free will, there's loss, and kind of pursuing one's own purpose. That's a lot of what the book has to do with.
Yeah. Ross, we could keep you for so much longer. I'm so sorry to hear about your loss, but thank you for sharing it with our community. Yes, and it's given us something absolutely gorgeous for people to read now.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right, guys, Sketch is out now and available wherever books are sold.